it comes in and goes. It always happens at the same time. It's just in January, and then it ends quickly. And sometime when January comes, it doesn't show up. And then when it does, yeah, it's just decimating. God, it's such a bad headache. Oh my God. It's so bad that I call it the Chargers. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're discussing the AFC West and we're talking about the Chargers, a team that is basically a punchline of success. So, yeah, let's talk about them. The Los Angeles Chargers, or I should just say the Chargers in general, has a history of never meeting expectations. Dan Fouts never went to the Super Bowl in his career, even though he wanted to. LaDainian Tomlinson never went to the Super Bowl with the Chargers, even though he wanted to. Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gage, Rashawn Mara. There are tons of Chargers success and greats in history that has never had success besides just the regular season success. Darren Sproles is another one. So Vincent Jackson, he had more. I feel like he had more in Tampa than Detroit, but that's neither here nor there. So with all that, now you got Justin Herbert, you got a Harbaugh. So once you get a Harbaugh in you, I guess you should be set to go, right? And with all that being said, why did this Charger team kind of felt like? We know they're a playoff team, but what's beyond just making the playoffs? Because the Chargers have once again been one and done in the playoffs, and this one was very egregious because it was the turnover factor that Justin Herbert was basically riding his season off like, I don't turn the ball over. And then he did. Again and again. And then eventually it was like, nope, it's not my day. It's not my day. The sad thing is, there is no tomorrow for you. And then tomorrow came and you realized you were clean out your locker for the season. Fantastic. You're definitely worth hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in you when you really have not done anything. I am so glad we have not regretted our decision. So the Chargers, I had them at 10-7. Because like most Chargers, I don't have faith. Didn't have faith in them. I believe 8-9 was more plausible. And lo and behold, the Chargers went on to go, oh, what is this? 11-6. Oh my God, you surpassed my expectations. You're good for you. And the time of this recording, Bosa is gone. Mac is re-signed. Herbert's there. And the Chargers feel more like a question mark than an answers. I mean, the Chiefs are coming back from a bad Super Bowl, so you don't think they're kind of pissed off. The Raiders got a new head coach, a new staff coming in. And Denver got Bo Nix and Sean Payton, so you kind of feel like if you don't pick up, you're going to be left behind very quickly. So that's what's kind of happening with the Chargers. Yes, you guys won 10 plus games. You guys made the playoffs. We've seen this song and dance before. And that's why we're going to go to your worst game first, because we're doing the same thing I did before, where technically these games, your worst and best games, are right next to each other. And for narratively speaking, we're going to go with the worst first because it was actually your first game first. So your worst game took place against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Week 15 at home. The Chargers were hosting the Buccaneers, who were so inconsistent that only one person I saw on ESPN gave them a slight chance to win. And the Chargers had like the #1 rush defense. So the great success story of Bucky Irving and the Buccaneers rushing attack going from last to fourth was going to be dead in its track. And then Baker threw 2 interceptions, and before I know it, the Chargers were up 14-7. It was like, okay, that's it, it's done. And then there was something called a second half. And the Buccaneers just kept scoring, kept moving the ball. Justin Herbert threw a very bad interception because I believe it was more Justin Herbert throwing a bad pass than Jamil Dean making the interception. I'm sorry. I'm saying that. And what made it so great for me is I watched Charger fans complain, angry, frustrated. 506 yards to the Chargers, 206. 2 turnovers apiece. The Buccaneers had nearly had 40 minutes of off time, but the big thing that made me laugh the most is that Bucky Irvin had 117 yards rushing. The Buccaneers' rushing attack was so dominant that the number one rush defense for the Chargers was viewed as a typo. It's like, I think we made a mistake, because why did a rookie do this to us? Why did this team do this? Why did Mike Evans, his old ass, he's old, had 150 yards and 2 touchdowns? What happened to us? Also, Baker threw for 4 touchdown passes too. So, yeah, there was a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes in this game. And it really... I think the term paper champions was the conversation. Like, the Chargers were viewed as, don't have faith in this team, don't support this team, whatever expectation you thought Harbaugh was going to do in his first year, ain't going to happen. Calm it down. We should be lucky if we actually get a favorable playoff matchup, which you guys did. But I think some people were probably hoping more of the, Steelers matchup, or heck, just the Harbaugh Bowl, Chargers and Ravens. I think that would have been a much more narrative speaking for the networks if that would have happened. But no, you got the Texans and you lost, and you went home, and the season's a loss for Herbert's young career again. So your worst game against Tampa at home, when basically all the momentum was riding on your side. And then Tampa, and as a Buccaneer fan, even I was surprised how it turned out, because I was like, oh my God, we're beating the Chargers. Badly. Oops. So that was your worst game. But don't worry. Next week, your best game showed up. Which happened also to be Denver's worst game. So this makes it kind of easier to explain. But the worst game for the Broncos was the best game for the Chargers. After the Denver Broncos went on a 21-13 lead, and the game felt like, oh, here we go again. We're not going to win. This looks very similar to what happened last week. And last week was at home against the Buccaneers. This is a division foe. So, oh my God, here we go again. But then you did something. You adapted. You changed strategies. You coached. You got better. And you came back to win. Now, some may say this is more about the Denver Broncos losing it than their Chargers winning it. But any team that's at home make a comeback against a division foe, I will probably say more as the team making a comeback than the team that their opponent they're playing is actually losing it. So, from my narrative speaking, the Chargers made a comeback in a crucial down because they knew they were on the cusp of basically being viewed as, we had a chance, we just needed to win one game out of the last 4 weeks to make it to the playoffs, and we didn't do it. That is how close the Chargers were to getting that label. And it's not like after the Bucs game, the schedule got easy for them. They were not viewed favorably by many. So they had to win game, they had to, and people thought it was going to be a Tampa win, and that would be it, but it didn't happen. And then they got a division foe who literally copied the same playbook as the Buccaneers did, and the Chargers were like, no, we're not doing that again. And they adapted and they fixed it, and that's what happened. And that's why that's your best game, because you showcase that the one bad game at home loss 1 week later does not dictate the rest of your season, how it should end. It's the game against Houston that dictate the end of your season. Your MVP for the Chargers does not go to Justin Herbert. Bite me on that. No, it goes to Lennon McConkey. Why? Because he was your only offensive weapon outside Justin Herbert. A rookie comes in, basically was your offense. In the game against the Buccaneers, he was the only player I was worried about watching it. And very early on, he was the one getting open, finding open gaps in the zone and making catches. And then somehow either he got shut down or he just disappeared. The Chargers' success, as much as Justin Herbert 3,800 yards and 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, is commendable, McConkey as a rookie, I knew he was viewed as a potential pick by the Chargers, or like a late first round, or even like the first 5 picks in the second round. Like, he was viewed as a top 40 pick. And when the Chargers picked him up, I don't know why I felt like the Chargers system of run first offense was not going to gel well with him. And I don't know what happened, but it didn't. But it worked better than I thought, and McConkey made up for it. McConkey actually ended up with nearly 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 82 receptions. He mainly because Johnson kept dropping balls. So therefore, he had nearly double his yardage and double his targets. So I'm giving McConkey because McConkey came in as a rookie with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, we have seen with A-list receivers and B-list receivers and D-list receivers and other ones, and he still thrives. So seeing Justin Herbert throw for nearly 4,000 yards and nearly 25 touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions is not something that we're going to be like, okay, we've seen that before. But what McConkey did as a rookie, when he was probably viewed as the number one receiver, and he became the number one receiver mainly because he was reliable, basically becoming a Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, Julian, whatever white guy wide receiver you want to put into that stigma, he became that guy for the Chargers. And the hope is that it will continue for his sophomore year, and hopefully, it will lead to maybe Justin Herbert actually getting another quality receiver to make up for it, because it just feels like Justin Herbert doing all this, but has wasted season in and season out. The grade for the season of the Chargers, you made the playoff, we all expected. Harbaugh's there, but you have not won a playoff game with Herbert yet. So, as normally I will give most teams a successful sticker, success. You guys had expectations beyond the wild card round. At least win a game was probably the hope for everybody, including myself. So I'm giving you a better luck next time sticker grade, because better luck next time, because let's be real, we all thought you guys were going to beat the Texans, and we'll see what happened in the next round. But once again, you guys went against an AFC South opponent too. That Jaguar game was also AFC South, funny enough. And you didn't win when a lot of the hope and expectation and some of the stats were in your favor that you should win that game, and you didn't. So to me, the Chargers had a chance. They didn't. They get a better luck next time. If they win a playoff game and they ended up there at the divisional round, it would be a success, because the quest would have been you won a playoff game. But you didn't. So better luck next time, losers. So what can the Chargers do to get better? Well, that's the number one question for all of them when I ask for Charger fans. And my draft pick selections for the Chargers, I just lost my place. Somewhere, give me 30 seconds to find it. Here we go. With Bosa gone, Mac getting older, I can't help but feel like a pass rush needs. So I put Mike Green. But then again, I thought about, Harbaugh and tight end. So I put Ty Warner. And then I'm thinking give another receiver for Justin Herbert. Then I put Matthew Golden. So basically, I would say either get a pass rusher to help make up for the loss of Bosa, get a tight end, because if Loveland is there, he will go to him. But I feel like Loveland will be picked up before the Chargers get a chance to pick. And I think Ty Warner will be there, unless Ty Warner's the one that get picked up by Denver, and therefore the Chargers get like one way or the other like that. And then if all else fails, get another wide receiver to make up for the inconsistency of Quentin Johnston and Len Conkley's success. Get Matthew Golden. I feel like he's good enough to fall, but not past the first round. Let's be real. Especially if the Chargers wish to get him. So those are the three players I'm thinking the Chargers should consider. And for all I know, they might go defense, tackle. They might go that. But I'm just feeling, I want them to get a splash player to get the Charger fans excited. Because I still feel like Los Angeles has not accepted the Chargers like they accepted the Rams. And I feel like the quicker they can somehow, resolve that, the better. Because right now, I don't think people like the Chargers as much as they wish they want to. But of course, they moved to Los Angeles because it was no other reason than just to move to Los Angeles. So that is the Chargers of Los Angeles. We're down to the last team, the last one, which we will hold. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl. They deserve to be the second to last video in this channel, at least for the recaps. So we're going to go straight to the NFC East, where Philadelphia's at. Don't worry, don't worry. The Chiefs will be talked about. Trust me, they will. But they'll be second to last. So we know Philadelphia will be the last video, and the Chiefs will be second to last. That means we have 3 teams left, and they're all in the NFC East. So let's talk about them Giants of New York, because like one New York team, this one also sucked. So we'll talk about the Big Blue of New York as we jump over to the NFC East, as we go to the last division of the recap show, just in time for the NFL draft. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.